So today I'm sort of celebrating a career milestone. We're celebrating 17 years in the post-production sound industry. To celebrate with you, I'm going to be sharing 10 things that I have learned the past 17 years navigating the post-production sound industry. Welcome back to Mastering Post-Production Sound. My name is Joel D. Catalan. I am an Emmy-nominated sound re-recording mixer. And for the past year, I've been sharing videos here on YouTube, specifically designed and created to help empower you to navigate, believe, and thrive in the post-production sound industry. So back when I started in the industry, I was grinding and hustling and got my first job in the industry at a mom and pop post-production facility. I got hired in a vault, and I was driving a truck all around Hollywood, picking up film, learning really about post-production and all facets of it. I talked to editors, I talked to colorists. They had a small sound department there, and I worked this swing shift. Anybody who knows the swing shift, gosh, it was like from 3 to midnight. They know it is a rough season. At the time, I only had one car. My wife and I were sharing. We were married not too long. But I remember one night, my wife gave me one of the most unexpected and impromptu gifts. I got into the car late past midnight, and she said, "I got something for you." She gave me this box. And I remember opening up, and in the box was a onesie and a pregnancy test. We were going to have a baby. Now, that was 17 years ago. And I know this because my oldest just turned 17 years. So really, it was a little bit more than 17 years if you take the 9 months that my wife was pregnant. But every year that my oldest turns another year old, I mark another notch in my career ladder. So it's been 17 years in the post-production sound industry. And today I'm going to give you 10 of the most valuable lessons that I have learned navigating this space. So here we go. We're going to dive in. I made a list and really just kind of was the first thing that came to my mind. So if I had the time to actually go through it and prioritize, I would have done it, but I'm just going for it. First thing that came to my mind. So 10 lessons. Here we go. Number 1, you must be your own advocate. No one, friend, no one cares if you get a job in this industry. Nobody cares if you're working or not. This is a lesson that I learned from a very experienced mixer. He's no longer working, he's retired, but at the time, I was working on a little show called Modern Family. Some of you may remember it. And Modern Family needed an effects mixer to come in and help them, right, at the time. The normal guy was not available. And we'd been working, and all of a sudden came to hiatus time, and some political moves happened, and the other guy got back on the show. And I was really bummed, and I was hurt. And the mixer came to me, or he called me on the phone. He said, "Joel, I'm really sorry how the way it went down," because the way it went down was not cool. But I learned a lot there. And he said, "Joel, you got to remember this. You have to be your own advocate. Nobody is going to advocate for you." And since learning that, I have found that has been a very valuable lesson. And I'm sharing that with you today because wherever you are in your post-production sound journey, and if you're watching this, maybe you're in the music industry, or any industry for that matter, but you must advocate for yourself because nobody, friend, nobody cares as much for your dreams, for your career, for what relationships you make in your respective industry than you. You're going to be the one who cares the most. So you must be your own advocate. Don't forget that. The second thing is you must work hard. Friend, I'm telling you right now, I don't know anybody in the post-production sound industry, any of my colleagues, and we're talking about Emmy winners, Oscar winners, Oscar nominees, Emmy nominees, motion picture editors, guild or MPSC, sound editor, Golden Reel Award winners. None of my friends would ever say that they got where they are today without hard work. Hard work is a prerequisite. It's something that is, it's a given. So if you're not used to it, get used to it. Work hard. Hard work gets you places still. I do believe that. And, don't believe everything that you see because, nowadays it's real hard because, you post one viral video of you skating, or whatever, and all of a sudden, you blow up. There's always the exception to the rule, but you must work hard in this industry. Everybody is in this industry where they're at because they worked hard. So you have to put the work in. So put the work in. Number 3, stay curious. Friend, I am in this industry because I was curious. I wanted to be a studio musician. That's what I was before I got into this industry. I played the saxophone, woodwinds, and I would find myself always being in recording sessions. And I'll never forget, I used to be the one that was being recorded, right? I would sight read music, we would play it, record it. But my curiosity is what led me, after each take, to go into the control room where the engineer was and to listen. I wanted to hear what it sounded like. I wanted to also hear some parts or some problems that maybe we experienced, but I always found myself on that side. And I had a director at the time, and he said, Joel, have you ever thought or considered being on this side of the glass? This side of the glass being, not the one being recorded, but being the one doing the recording and the mixing. And I kind of said, no, I don't know why. But because of that curiosity, it put a thought in my head. And it led to a series of events that I never thought would ever happen. But I went from being a musician to being a composer to then learning how to mix my own scores because I didn't have enough money to hire people to mix my scores, to, eventually spending just tons of hours in Pro Tools, to then here. I always tell people that post-production sound fell in my lap. But really it was because I was curious. Because I wondered, I wonder if I do this with this sound and do this with this sound. I didn't know what sound design was. A friend asked me one day, hey, can you do this? I said, sound design? Yeah, sure. It shouldn't be any more different than composing, right? I'm just composing with sounds and I'm manipulating and I'm, layering things. So stay curious, because curiosity could lead you to a career that you never thought was possible. So stay curious, my friend. Number 4, never burn a bridge. Woo! Never burn a bridge. Friend, you have no idea where the next opportunity may come from. And if you allow things to get in the way, if you allow anger and resentment to eat at you, and one day you find yourself blowing up in front of somebody at a facility or at a studio or with a producer, you may never get another opportunity. And friend, let me tell you, if one thing we have learned during the downturn of the industry is that you never know where your next opportunity will come. So I urge you to be kind, work on communication, be somebody people want to be around with. Because when you do that, you never burn a bridge, then when you need it, when the opportunity comes, you can reach out to those studios, to those facilities. Because, friend, I'm telling you, I have seen firsthand people blow up their careers and relationships with mixing facilities and studios and people, and that bridge was burned. And, they saw an opportunity go away and created a reputation for themselves. So never burn a bridge. Number 5, imposter syndrome is a good thing. Say what? What do you mean imposter syndrome is a good thing? Hear me out. I love what Rich Litvin says. He's a coach. I'm going to read it here because I'm going to botch it if I don't. He says, stop trying to get rid of imposter syndrome and start getting better at it. The reason we experience imposter syndrome is because we are doing something big. When we feel that, it's oftentimes because we're risking something. We have some kind of fear because we're going outside of our comfort zone. Heck, if you didn't want to feel and experience imposter syndrome, then don't do big things, right? So imposter syndrome is a good thing, friend. Lean into it because when you feel that, you know you're headed in the right direction. Number 6, relationships are everything. I have said this many times online. I might have even said it here in videos before, but Hollywood runs on relationships. And it's all about who you know, but more importantly, who knows you. Friend, it's vital, it's crucial that you get your name out there. Oftentimes, it's not that people don't want to give you a shot. It's just the fact that people don't know who you are. So I have learned that relationships are everything. And that is vital to create authentic relationships with people in this industry. I have some amazing friends in this industry that are amazing artists, professional sound pros in this industry. And it all started with creating relationships with these people. I had a conversation today with a good friend who is a fantastic sound designer, and we discussed creating together on another film. When you create awesome, authentic relationships with people in this industry, it makes getting together when you create so much more special. Imagine creating soundtracks to high-end content and films with your friends. I'm telling you, it's awesome. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. So focus on creating relationships. Relationships are everything. Number 7. Now, this one's a very simple one, but I had to put it down the list. Ask questions. Friend, do not be afraid of asking questions. When we allow fear to hold us back from asking questions, we don't learn anything. I remember one of my first jobs as a mix tech, I did not go to school for audio, for post audio. I didn't. So I learned on the job. And I had a journal. I had a notebook where I would write down, the steps. Okay, import audio, write it down, But every once in a while, I would come up to something that I don't know, and I would ask my colleagues there, the people around me, and I would feel scared to. But every time I did not ask a question, that's when I got in trouble. So I learned, just ask the question. So don't be afraid. It's one thing I've learned the last 17 years. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I forget who says it, but I remember, I don't know if it's Simon Sinek or something. It talks about being the stupidest or the dumbest person in the room. I like to be that person because, I bring it down because there's often somebody else in the room who doesn't know what's going on or has the same question. So don't be afraid. Ask lots of questions and write them down because oftentimes I don't remember things. So get a notebook, but ask lots of questions. Number 8, it's none of your business what other people think about you. Ooh, this is a good one. When you're navigating the post-production sound industry or any industry that matter, oftentimes we're afraid. I'll speak for myself. I was afraid of what other people thought of me. Like if I asked that person, especially people we look up to, people we want to maybe ask questions of or get time of, or maybe it's, a career decision or choice. Oh, I want to try doing this or go after this gig or after this job. But often the fear of what they thought about me would get in my way. So I've learned I cannot care what other people think about me. And friend, I hope that I can empower you to think the same thing because when we do not care what other people think about us, that frees us up to take bigger risks. It allows us to then make choices based on what we think and we feel in our gut. Because I'm telling you, feeling, that rather following your gut, that's a real thing. So stop caring about what other people think about you. I'm telling you, when you start doing that, it's going to free you up and it's going to allow you to make better decisions that are right for you. Who cares what other people think you should be doing? Number 9, each project is the resume for the next. I remember hearing this back when I was in college. It was very similar to, I did a recent video not too long ago where I went back to my alma mater and I got to speak to a group of graduating seniors who were ready to go into the workforce. It was a class like that my professor taught me, and I remember writing it down. And at the time, I was a session player, I was a musician, so it was something more along the lines of like each gig is a resume for the next one. Friend, I think I've been asked for a resume maybe a couple times, like 2 times in my whole 17 years in the industry. It's been all about my credits, my IMDb credits. That's my resume. But with this mentality that each project is a resume for the next one, it allows us to bring our best. It allows us to ask ourselves, are we bringing our best? Because they are going to remember you. The people are going to remember you. If you're on a film or on a TV show, your producer, your director, your associate, producer, your post supervisor, these people are going to remember you. How are you interacting? I've got to experience that firsthand. I remember working on a film with a post supervisor that I had never worked with before. But at the end of the experience, we both had a lovely time. And what I love with what came out of it was like, hey, we had never worked together, but I would definitely do it again. And that's what you want right there. Bingo, right? Resume submitted. And now the next time I reach out to that post supervisor, they're going to be a lot more willing, if the opportunity presents itself, to say, hey, absolutely, I got a spot for you. So treat each project as the resume for the next one. And the 10th and final thing that I have learned in the past 17 years navigating the post-production sound industry that I really want you to know is that service matters. Friend, we are in the client service industry. Think about it. When I sit down to mix a film, I am serving one person's vision, and that is the director. Now, mind you, the director has to, of course, answer to other people, the studio, the executive producers, but ultimately, in the end, it's their vision. It's their story. So they're going to walk away from that experience with either a delightful taste in their mouth or a very sour one. So it's up to us to create those experiences for our filmmakers. This goes for TV too. This goes for your short film. This goes for the free thing that you're working on, right? Are you creating an experience? Are you serving your filmmaker? When we serve, friend, I'm telling you, in the long run, we are going to get so much more out of it. You want to make more money in this industry. You want to create awesome opportunities for yourself. Serve others. It's like the golden rule, right? And if we can combine a couple of those things, it's like, treat others better than yourself. Serve others better than yourself. Okay, instead of like, treat others as you like to be treated or something along that line, right? Service matters, friend. So serve more. The more you serve, the more you're going to get back in this industry. Well, there you go. There are 10 things that I have learned in the past 17 years navigating the post-production sound industry. Friend, I hope that this is valuable for you. It's taken me 17 years to figure it out. So I hope that this streamlines, it makes things quicker for your career in the post-production sound industry, in the music industry, in the audio industry, in whatever industry you may be a part of. If you are on your own journey navigating this industry and you don't want it to take 17 years, friend, I want to offer this invitation to apply to work one-on-one with me. Journey Beyond Sound goes beyond the faders and the knobs and what to mix and how to mix and all these things, and it really focuses on mindset. It focuses on challenging your limiting beliefs. Do you have a dream? Do you have a goal? Whatever that dream or goal is, I want you to know that it is possible. So if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, going deeper, going beyond the mixing console. Head over to masteringpostproductionsound.com/coaching to apply to work one-on-one with me. Friend, it's been a wild 17 years, but I am so grateful. And now, being here on YouTube to share the things I've learned, there's no greater gift. So thank you for being here. I'll see you in one of these other videos over here or next week.